Good evening. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. Sultan of Brunei grants audience to Sarawak Tyt. Bintulu Port Bill to be tabled in Parliament. AI reliance threatens cultural heritage. Sarawak Governor Tun Pehin Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar today had an audience with His Majesty Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah of Brunei Darussalam at Istana Nurul Iman on Monday. Accompanied by his wife, Toh Puan Fauziah Muhammad Sanusi, Tun Dr. Wan Junaidi arrived at the palace at 11:30 a.m.
Also present at the audience were Her Majesty Raja Isteri Pengiran Anak Saleha Almarhum Pengiran Pemanca Pengiran Anak Muhammad Alam and other members of the royal family. The Sarawak delegation included Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan and the Sarawak State Secretary Dato' Amar Muhammad Abu Bakar Mazuki. Tun Dr. Wan Junaidi and the Sarawak delegation were later feted to a luncheon hosted by Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah. Tun Dr. Wan Junaidi is currently on a 3-day working visit to the Sultanate. This visit marks his official overseas trip since being appointed as the Governor of Sarawak on January 26.
A bill to repeal the Bintulu Port Authority Act 1981 will be tabled in this parliamentary session. This announcement was made by the Premier Sarawak, Dato' Paninginan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg.
Kita jangkakan bahawa rang RUU Bintulu Port akan dibentangkan dalam sesi ini dan mungkin undang-undang Bintulu akan di repeal except Labuan di taken out dan Labuan masih menjadi pelabuhan federal. Dan Bintulu dikeluarkan menjadi pelabuhan Sarawak.
Previously, the federal government agreed to transfer Bintulu Port to the Sarawak government effective June 2024. This decision was made at the Joint Federal State Committee meeting at Wisma Bapa Malaysia, Petrojaya, co-chaired by Deputy Premier of Sarawak and Minister of Infrastructure and Port Development, Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Embas, and the Minister of Transport, Anthony Loke Siu Fu.
Heavy reliance on artificial intelligence (AI) technology poses a risk to the preservation of cultural heritage. Meanwhile, Premier Sarawak, Dato' Paninginan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, emphasized that AI serve as a tool to assist humans in achieving their goals and not one to be their ultimate decision-making tool.
AI is neither original and not authentic. That's where the value system is also mixed there, because you can have fake doctrine in AI. Unless you know the doctrine of AI and how it comes about, actually it's a chip, something to do with chip system. And we cannot also allow our young generation just to concentrate and rely on AI, though it is an added process for us to move forward.
He said this while speaking at the inauguration of the Iban Cultural Heritage Symposium and Expo 2024 at the Dayak Cultural Foundation Building, Kuching. Abang Johari added that AI should not be seen as part of a culture because the technology is programmed to follow human instructions.
That is the reason why when my team, Dr. Ahmad Douglas and the whole cabinet, want to have a policy direction towards the future, in this case 2030, we include what we call social inclusivity, meaning we recognize the various values of our cultural diversity as a basis for us to move forward. We are not going to create what I call robotic society, but we want to create cultured society.
Sarawak plans to establish its own paddy and rice board to reduce dependency on Padi Beras Nasional Berhad Bernas and other federal agencies. Sarawak Minister of Food Industry, Commodity and Regional Development, Dr. Stephen Rundi Utom, said that the initiative also aligns with the region's aspiration to produce its paddy varieties and rice seedlings, thus ensuring sufficient rice supply and benefiting small farmers in the region.
Punya cita-cita dan impian adalah supaya satu hari nanti semua penanam padi atau petani yang tinggal di luar bandar dapat kita ubah kehidupan mereka untuk pendapatan yang lebih baik. So kurang-kurangnya RM6,000 sebulan seisi keluarga. Itu dapat kita lakukan. Jadi dengan itu kita boleh membawa seluruh rakyat Sarawak merasakan maju dan makmur ini menjadi realiti.
Despite various challenges, Rundi is optimistic that this goal can be achieved. He added that farmers interested in planting hybrid paddy can apply to the Department of Agriculture to obtain the Standard Operating Procedure (SOP) for such crops. At the same time, he also encouraged all farmers to register in the e-Tani system to help the Department of Agriculture to identify each type of assistance application submitted to the agency.
In related developments, Sarawak would require more hectares of land in order for it to achieve its ambition of becoming Malaysia's next rice bowl region. Minister of Food Industry, Commodity and Regional Development, Sarawak, Dr. Stephen Rundi Utom, highlighted that the area of Stumbin in Lingga has been remarked for this initiative. However, he noted that significant improvements, particularly infrastructure, are still necessary.
Kalau kita mahu untuk menambah volume pengeluaran padi kita, kita perlu satu tempat yang baru, kawasan yang lebih luas. Yang kedua, pada takat ini yang paling dekat untuk kita lakukan adalah untuk kita to improve the current existing DID scheme. Yang saya dapati bahawa DID scheme ini belum memenuhi kehendak infrastruktur yang diperlukan untuk mengeluarkan beras atau padi untuk 2 musim. Dan juga belum dapat kita gunakan variety yang kita harap, MR 297 dan sebagainya.
He emphasized that this effort is crucial not only to increase the number of paddy production, but also to identify areas that can be developed for this purpose. Currently, Sarawak can only achieve a 32% self-sufficiency level in paddy, with the remainder still dependent on imported rice.
Kalau kita bercakap pasal keterjaminan makanan, ini perlu dilakukan secepat mungkin. Kita telah pun diarahkan oleh Yang Berhormat Premier untuk melakukan atau membaik pulih keadaan yang sedia ada skim BDID. Jadi apakah masalah kalau kita mahu untuk memenuhi keperluan ini? Satu, ada inisiatif baru dia menggunakan hybrid. Tetapi hybrid ini perlu untuk mendapat satu compliant atau SOP yang betul supaya variety jenis baka yang kita bawa ini tidak akan mengganggu-gugat keadaan padi yang asal di Sarawak.
He told this to reporters after attending the Gawai-friendly ceremony at Rumah Jablin Buan, Sungai Sian, Bintulu. Earlier, he had the opportunity to visit the hybrid paddy variety planting project in Sungai Padi and the pineapple processing plant in Bintulu.
Premier Sarawak, Dato' Peninggalan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, has given his green light for the Dayak Cultural Foundation DCF to manage Fort Lily in Betong and Fort Sylvia in Kapit. This comes after Sarawak's Deputy Premier, Dato' Amar Douglas Ugahambas, who is also DCF chairman, proposed to the Premier for the historical forts to be turned into Iban Cultural Heritage Centres.
He further explained that DCF's management buyout of these forts aim to facilitate collection and exhibition of Iban artifacts at both historical sites.
That's why we suggest to Premier to management buyout Fort Lily. Mananya Fort Lily and Fort Sylvia. Mananya kita akan bincang dengan museum. Premier dah setuju tadi. We will manage it. Part of our job is to collect all the artifact yang perlu.
He made these remarks at the 2024 Iban Cultural Heritage Symposium and Expo today. Earlier during his speech, Ugah detailed the exhibition at the symposium and expo, including traditional arts like Puak Kumbu weaving, mat weaving, and Iban tattoo art, as well as displays of traditional attire and weaponry, reflecting the cultural heritage of Iban community. Ugah also emphasized that such centers are not merely repositories for artifacts, but dynamic institutions involving the community, ensuring that cultural heritage remains integral to community life.
The community believes that the establishment or creation of cultural heritage center can play a vital role in preserving, promoting, and educating the public about our heritage.
St. Joseph's Private School today received a grant from the Sarawak government via the Unit for Other Religions Unifor worth 5 million ringgit. The grant serves to fund the school extension project at both St. Joseph's Private Primary School and St. Joseph's Private Secondary School. The cheque was presented by Deputy Premier Sarawak, Dato' Amar Dr. Sim Kui Hian, to St. Joseph's Private School's Chief Executive Officer, Christopher Chua. In a press release, St. Joseph's Private School will begin an extension project to enhance its campus and provide its students with several new state-of-the-art facilities. The new extension will include a variety of modern facilities, including a multi-purpose hall, modern learning spaces as well as labs, a music room and a dance room. Coming up right after the break, pregnant woman jailed for solicitation and gunmen killed 20 in Russia's Dagestan region. Right here on Tvs Nightline, stay tuned.
Cinta Lapang. Halik Isnin hingga Jumaat 3 petang hanya di TVS.
Welcome back. The Selangor contingent for the Sukan Malaysia Sukma 2024 is targeting a haul of 61 gold medals to be in the top 3 finish, while Negeri Sembilan is aiming for more than 20 gold medals. Selangor Youth Sports and Entrepreneurship Committee Chairman Muhammad Najwan Halimi said he is confident that the target can be achieved despite various challenges in the way, including financial constraints.
Najwan added that the Selangor contingent aims for gold in several key events, including rugby, archery, aquatics, athletics, women's football, shooting, takraw, and silat, and others. Meanwhile, Negeri Sembilan head contingent Mustafa Nagor said that approximately 500 athletes from the state are scheduled to participate in 30 events at the biennial games and are on the hunt for gold in cycling, boxing, athletics, shooting, and football. He said the said target took into account that 30% of national athletes are from Negeri Sembilan, as well as his satisfaction with Negeri Sembilan's preparation for each sports based on the pre-Sukma competition.
A 6-month pregnant woman, known by the pseudonym Mira Ozawa, was sentenced to 2 months in jail by the Bandar Baru Bangi Sessions Court today for soliciting clients for prostitution through the Telegram app. Siti Amiza Baharuddin, 27 years old, received the sentence from Judge Shahrul Rizal Majid after pleading guilty and requesting a fine instead of a jail term, citing her remorse and pregnancy.
Judge Shahrul Rizal Majid ordered that Siti Amiza serve her sentence starting from her arrest date on June 6. Siti Amiza was charged with committing the offence at a condominium unit in Bukit Mahkota, Kajang at 4 p.m. on June 6 under Section 372B of the Penal Code, which carries a maximum sentence of 1 year in prison, a fine, or both. Shahrul Rizal advised the accused to maintain her self-control and take the case as a lesson. According to the case details, police raided the condominium unit and upon inspecting Siti Amiza's phone, discovered that she had used social media to solicit clients for prostitution. Investigations by the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, revealed that she used Facebook and Telegram to commit the offence. On June 19th, Siti Amiza was sentenced to 1 month in prison and fined 12,500 ringgit by the magistrate court after pleading guilty to charges of possessing obscene materials and unregistered medications.
On to world news. Attacks on churches and synagogues in Russia's Dagestan region killed 15 police officers and 4 civilians, officials said on Monday, stoking fears over Islamist violence in the historically restive North Caucasus. Sunday's attack came just 3 months after Islamic State IS group fighters killed more than 140 in a Moscow concert hall, the deadliest attack on Russia for almost 20 years.
Moscow said on Monday it had concluded an anti-terrorist operation and killed 5 of the assailants behind the coordinated attacks in the cities of Mahachkala and Derbent. The incident also had echoes of the kind of insurgent violence that marred the North Caucasus during the 1990s and 2000s, but the Kremlin on Monday dismissed fears of a renewed wave of attacks. Russia has been a target for attacks in recent years by IS, which opposes Moscow military support for Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad and claims to have set up a franchise in Russia's North Caucasus. It was unclear how many have been involved in the attack. Russian Orthodox Archpriest Nikolai Kotelnikov was killed in his church in Derbent, a historic city on the coast of the Caspian Sea.
A major fire broke out at a South Korean lithium battery factory earlier today, with 1 person confirmed dead and 21 others unaccounted for as the blaze continued to rage. Authorities said factory workers described an explosion in one battery cell on the 2nd floor, followed by a series of explosions.
Images shared by the media showed huge plumes of billowing grey smoke rising into the sky above the factory, with orange flames inside the building. The lithium battery plant is owned by Aerosol, a South Korean primary battery manufacturer. It is located in Hwansong, just south of the capital, Seoul. The building had an estimated 35,000 battery cells on the 2nd floor in storage, with more batteries stored in other areas. Lithium batteries burn hot and fast and are difficult to control with conventional fire extinguishing methods. Authorities said an estimated 67 people were working at the factory today, but the exact number of workers has not been determined. Firefighting and rescue efforts were ongoing, and the cause of the fire was unknown.
At least 1 person died and dozens others injured during a stampede at Rwanda President Paul Kagame's campaign rally on Sunday, ahead of a vote widely expected to extend the incumbent's 24-year iron-fisted rule. President since 2000, the 66-year-old will face the same rivals as he did in 2017. The leader of the opposition Democratic Green Party, Frank Habineza, and former journalist Felipe Mapiamana, who is running as independent.
Campaigning kicked off on Saturday, with Kagame addressing rallies in Musanze and Rubavu in northern Rwanda on the weekend. Rwandan courts rejected appeals from the prominent opposition figures, Bernard Taganda and Victoire Ingabire, to remove previous conviction that effectively barred them from contesting. The Election Commission also barred Kagame critic Diane Wigara, saying she had failed to provide a criminal record statement as required and had not met the threshold of acquiring 600 supporting signatures from citizens. Elected by Parliament in 2000 after the resignation of former President Pasteur Bizimungu, Kagame has won 3 elections with more than 90% of the ballot in 2003, 2010 and 2017, taking nearly 99% of votes in the most recent poll. He has been praised for Rwanda's economic recovery.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms at TV Sarawak. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.
website.